The U.S. is pumping out coronavirus vaccines by the millions. The Biden administration announcing this week there has been 200 million vaccines administered. But the coronavirus isn't slowing down. This spring has seen a surge of vaccinations, but almost no change in the coronavirus spread, leaving the U.S. with an outbreak that's still too big. In the last week of February, the U.S. was averaging 65,000 new coronavirus cases a day. Now, 8 weeks later, now that's back when they started lifting the restrictions. Now, 8 weeks later, we are averaging 64,000 new cases per day. It's plateaued. And yet, over the same 8-week period, the U.S. has administered more than 65 million vaccine doses, roughly doubling the number of Americans who have gotten at least one shot. You would think that doubling the number of vaccinated Americans would produce at least some decline in coronavirus spread, but that hasn't happened. More contagious variants of COVID-19, particularly the variant first discovered in the UK, have become the dominant strains within the US over the spring. That would normally cause a big jump in new cases, while vaccinations would normally cause a big drop in new cases. The two may simply be canceling each other out, leaving the US's outbreak frozen at around 65,000 new cases per day. Deaths have fallen significantly to an average of about 700 per day, down from a peak of 3,500. The 65,000 cases per day is still too many cases, and it leaves the unvaccinated, a group that still includes a lot of vulnerable people, at risk of serious illness. And it leaves the door open for more new variants, which could cause COVID-19 to stay with us for years in varying degrees of severity. That's what I've wanted to avoid this whole time. We needed to contain it originally. Then we would have been fine by now. If we had taken drastic steps to contain it, trace. Thank you. I'm glad you love the new troll. I always send designs to like 3 or 4 people and get their the consensus. And there were a couple people that liked the old troll. And that's what inspired me to do the OG troll shirt on the Freak Store. Check down the description. Crazy story. An unvaccinated healthcare worker set off a COVID-19 outbreak at a nursing home in Kentucky where the vast majority of residents had been vaccinated, leading to dozens of infections, including 22 cases among residents and employees who were already fully vaccinated. This is according to a new study reported on Wednesday. Most of those who were infected with the coronavirus despite being vaccinated did not develop symptoms, so that's good, or require hospitalization. And this was in a population that's high risk, so that's very encouraging that the vaccines truly do protect. But one vaccinated individual who was a resident of the nursing home died, according to the study released by the CDC. Altogether, 26 facility residents were infected, including 18 who had been vaccinated, and 20 healthcare personnel were infected, including 4 who had been vaccinated. 2 unvaccinated residents also died. The report underscores the importance of vaccinating both nursing home residents and healthcare workers who go in and out of the sites. While 90% of the 83 residents at the Kentucky nursing home had been vaccinated, only half of the employees had been vaccinated when the outbreak was identified in March. Now, over in India, where they are fighting off a particularly deadly and contagious strain, the Guardian article states the system has collapsed. India's descent into COVID hell. Many falsely believed that the country had defeated COVID. Now hospitals are running out of oxygen and bodies are stacking up in morgues. Looking out over the sea of jostling maskless faces gathered at a political rally in West Bengal on Saturday, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi proudly proclaimed that he had never ever seen such huge crowds. And remember, Trump went to India and had this gigantic rally. God, would it have been like the end of February of last year? Had a gigantic rally with Modi, who was also a fucking fascist. A mask was also noticeably absent from Modi's face. That same day, India registered a record-breaking 234,000 new coronavirus cases and 1,341 deaths. They actually have surpassed the U.S. for single-day cases now. I think they did it yesterday or today. The country has descended into a tragedy of unprecedented proportions. Almost 1.6 million cases have been registered in a week, bringing total cases to more than 15 million in the space of just 12 days. The COVID positivity rate doubled to 17%, while in Delhi it hit 30%. Hospitals across the country have filled to capacity, but this time it is predominantly young taking up the beds. In Delhi, 65% of the cases are under 40 years old. It's coming, guys. It's coming. This is an indicator of what's getting ready to happen here. Brazil is an indicator of what is getting ready to happen here. While the unprecedented spread of the virus, I hope not. Hopefully, I don't. I'm pretty fucking cynical about it. While the unprecedented spread of the virus has been partly blamed on a more contagious variant that has emerged in India, Modi's government has also been accused of failures of political leadership from the top, with lax attitudes emulated by state and local leaders from all parties and even health officials across the country. Victory was declared prematurely, and that ebullient. I feel like I've heard that.
Ebullient
mood was communicated across the country, especially by politicians who wanted to get the economy going and wanted to get back to campaigning. And that gave the virus the chance to rise again. In West Bengal, where Modi's government had refused to curtail the drawn-out state elections, Modi and his home minister, Amit Shah, continued their public meetings and roadshows into this week, even as queues of ambulances lined up outside hospitals across India. On Saturday, the same day as Modi's rally, the state registered 7,713 new cases. 3 candidates running in the election have died from the virus. I think we had a comparable number here in the U.S. in the last election. But what do I have to worry about? People here in the U.S. are taking this seriously. It's not gonna.
Same thing.
It's not gonna cause another worse wave coming through here because this woman knows what she's talking about and is totally taking precautions.
Social emotional health. If you truly mean that, you would end the mask requirement tonight. Tonight. This is not March 2020 anymore. We have 3 vaccines. Every adult in the state of Georgia that wants that vaccine is eligible to get it right now, and every one of us knows that young children are not affected by this virus. They're not, and that's a blessing. But as the adults, what have we done with that blessing? We've
Not likely. Not likely. He's leaving out a lot of information there. And there's also this thing, the thing that I've been worried about this whole time is if you allow this thing to continue to spread, it's going to mutate.
shoved it to the side and we've said, we don't care. You're still going to wear a mask on your face every day, 5 and 6-year-olds. You still can't play together on the playground like normal children, 7 and 8-year-olds. We don't care.
You're on the verge of tears.
Force you to carry a burden that was never yours to carry. Shame on us.
Laugh this woman out of the room. She's stupid.
Are you going to tell them tonight? Tell them I don't want to wear this anymore. And I say, baby, it's not time to fight that battle yet. I try to explain that there's so many things. But it's April 15th, 2021, and it's time. Take these masks off of my child.
And people are cheering her. God damn.
But Ms. Taylor, the CDC, we did not vote for people at the CDC. We did elect leaders who do create policy. We elected the 5 of you.
I'm guessing you didn't vote for Biden either.
We chose you to make decisions that would be in our children's best.
By the way, just in case, the CDC is oversaw by the executive branch, so she voted for, or people voted for the people that run the CDC. Just to clarify, ma'am, I wish they taught civics in school.
Interest in forcing 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9-year-old little children to cover their noses and their mouths where they breathe for 7 hours a day, every day for the last 9 months for a virus that
Oh God, I didn't know you had it. I'm sorry, man.
It's not in their best interest, and this has to stop. Defend our children. My 6-year-old can't come up here and say this.
Your 6-year-old doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And it's your job to protect that 6-year-old. Not try to kill it. Right-wingers are morons.